Hello, my name is Harshil, and today I want to represent the future of supply chain analytics. Have you ever imagined how retail stores like Zara and H&M refill their stores every morning or evening so that the on-floor operation of sales gets smooth and it saves the time, energy, and provides the best customer experience? Similarly, warehouses of any company transfer the inventory. It identifies the unit sold patterns for relevant stores, subsequently predict what would be sell, and allocate the stock for replenishing. This project is all about supply chain intelligence. The idea is very simple. Instead of supply chain analysts spending hours every week downloading spreadsheets, cleaning data, and building reports manually, we automate the entire thing using AI tools. From the moment CSV file lands in the Gmail inbox, all the way to the live dashboard showing whether customers are being served on time and in full. Now, in this similar way, in this project, we are going to discuss about 5 KPIs, as you can see on the screen, such as OTIF percentage, on-time percentage, in-full percentage, volume fill, and revenue risk. I will walk you through each one of them, but headline is this. Only 28.89% of orders arrived both on time and in full. That is the critical number. And we found it using a stack of modern AI tools that is need of the hours. Let's dive into it. Now let me set the scene. Patel Mart is an imaginary organic food company from Gujarat, India. Think of them like a mid-sized food brand. They make things like dairy products, teas, and packaged food. And they have recently expanded into United States market. Now, here is the problem. When you grow fast, when you scale high, your operations don't always keep up. The CEO noticed something troubling. Customers were complaining that orders were arriving late, sometimes incomplete, sometimes not at all. And he asked a simple question to the analytic team to diagnose the root cause, and data analytic team found it. They were failing to maintain the right inventory levels. It sounds simple, but implications massive. Think of it as this way. Imagine you run a small grocery shop. Every morning you get delivery from your supplier. But some week, half of the items on truck are missing. Maybe the milk didn't arrive, maybe the bread came 3 days later, or your customer noticed. If your customers keep noticing this kind of phenomena, they go to the competitors next door. That is exactly what was happening at the Patel Mart. So the goal of this project was to build a system that catches this problem in real time, automatically using with help of AI. So the leadership team can act before customer walk away. On the right, you can see the 5 pillars of our solution. Let me now show you how we build this. Now let me show you the 4 tools that power this system and why each one matters. In the step 1, the Gmail. Every day, the operation team at Patel Mart sends an email with 2 CSV files attached, and that is the orders data. This is raw input, nothing fancy, just an email. Step 2, n8n running inside the Docker. n8n is an automation platform. Think of it like digital assembly line workers who sits in your Gmail and watching the Gmail inbox every 15 minutes. So here, the moment new email arrives, it grabs the CSV attached, does some date formatting, some transformation, and then insert the rows directly into database. No human involvement. Step 3, Supabase. Now this is our cloud database built on PostgreSQL, which is the industry standard for relational data. We designed a star schema with 5 tables. If you're not familiar with the star schema, imagine a sun. The fact table are at the center containing all the transactional data, and the dimensional table are like rays, providing the context like customer name, product details, and delivery targets. Step number 4 is Quadratic AI. This is where the magic happens for analysis. Instead of writing SQL manually, I type question in plain English like calculate OT percentage by customer, and AI generates the query and shows me the result. It is connected to the live Supabase, so it is always working with the latest data. So for a result, I ingested for the list 17, the system ingested 350 rows of fresh supply chain data with absolutely zero manual work. Now let me quickly walk you through the database design. As we discussed previously about the star schema, let's get into this. The structure is called star schema. It is the gold standard for analytic databases used by data teams and companies like Unilever, PostNL, and every major retailer. The idea here is you have fact tables at the center. This holds your transactions, like what happened. Further, dimensions table branches out as you can see in the model, which provides the context such as who, what, where. In our case, Fact order line is the beating heart. It has 25,886 rows, one row for every product line in every order. It tells us what was ordered, what was actually delivered, was it on time, was it full. The second table, fact aggregate, rolls this up to order level, one row per order, with simple flags for on time, in full, and OTIF. The dimension tables provide the full context. Team customers tells us who the customer is, where they are. Team product gives us product detail and pricing in both Indian rupees and in United States dollar. And the most strategically important one, team targets order. This is where each customer's SLA commitment is stored. We promised price right 62% OTIF. We need to measure ourselves against that promise. This design makes quadratic AI analysis extremely accurate. This is exact workflow that we have created. As you can see, the Gmail trigger that runs every 15 minutes, it collects the CSV and perform extraction. That also includes some basic transformation like date format transformation and all. Further, this cleaned CSV then saved into PostgreSQL cloud server like Supabase that it then connected to the agentic spreadsheet like Quadratic AI where analytics takes place and one can be able to see the output. So what you have just seen is the actual automation of the power flow that we have created here. And we have until now discussed the business problem that orders are not being delivered on time and not in full capacity. Then we have discussed about the data model and file contents in it. Then we have introduced Gmail, n8n, Supabase Cloud Database for PostgreSQL, and then Quadratic AI. Now we are going to discuss the story in numbers. So we are tracking 7 KPIs, the same ones used by supply chain teams at a prominent player in the market, such as Unilever, Heineken, and Yumbo. Let me walk you through them one by one. Here you can see on the screen. And starting with the good news, so we'll just talk about the positive here. So volume fill rate is 96.62%. This is actually a strong. When Patel Mart does ship an order, they are delivering nearly the full quantity. Good production, good warehouse management. But now the problem starts with line fill rate, which is around 65.99%. That benchmark should be around 90% in the market or even above. This means one in a three order lines. Imagine a customer ordering 10 different products. There are three of that order product, three of those products will not arrive correctly. That is terrible shopping experience. On time, so that's another, you can see another KPI here on time, which is 59.18%. Less than 6 in 10 orders arrive on agreed date. The supply chain is constantly missing its own downline. Third would be in full, so which is 52.91% here. Almost half of all orders are not fully delivered. Let that sink in. If you order 100 items, you would receive fewer than 53 of them in correct quantity. And then comes OTIF, on time in full. This is brutal KPI when in supply chain industry. It's 28.89%. The industry benchmark is 70 or above. We are at least at less than half of that because it's 28.89, it's almost 29%, and the half of 70% is 35. So we are even less than the half of that. Now in layman language, what is this OTIF is imagine ordering a pizza. You were told it would be arriving in 30 minutes. You would get everything that you ordered. Now, OTIF measures how often both promises kept, like pizza arrive on time, and has all toppings are correct. So right now, Patel Mart is keeping its promises for fewer than 3 in 10 order time. So in our cases, we are delivering the pizza, but we might not have some toppings. We have some toppings, but we are not getting delivery on time. So this is what the crucial we are facing at the situation. Now let's look at who is being served well. So our customer performance analysis. On the left, I have the top 5 customer globally ranked by order value. These are all US based customer. So you can see Food Town, Whole Food Market, Lidl, Wegmans, and Price Right. Now, together they represent over $250 million in order value. These are Patel Mart's most important relationship. Now look at the OTIF column. Food down 33.25, Whole Food 39.15. Every single top customer is below 40% of OTIF. In supply chain terms, this is red alert. The companies like Unilever have clause in their retail contract that if your OTIF fell below 70%, you get fined or delisted. The most alarming case is Price Right. They are placing nearly 49 million in order. Their agreed OTIF is 62%. Their actual OTIF is 4.42%, 8.42%. There is the gap of 53% point. In a very plain language, um, imagine a restaurant that promises stable service in 15 minutes, but 91.58% of time, either the food arrives late or order is wrong. That restaurant would be out in a business in in no time. On the other side, on the right hand side, you can see India's top customer paint a similar picture. Acclaim stores, the biggest by value, sits at just 19.21%. What if the one bright spot is Propel Mart in Vadodara, 44.30%, still below the benchmark, but significantly better than peers. That tells us that it is possible to do better. We just need to understand what Propel Mart's supply chain manager is doing differently than others. Now, this slide is where we move on from what is happening to why it is happening. The top left, the revenue loss, is roughly around 3.93 crores Indian rupees. Approximately that is of 3.79% of total potential revenue. Now, it was simply not realized because orders were not fulfilled. The customer had already placed the order. The Patel Mart had already made the sale in principle, but they failed to deliver the products. Now, what happens here? That is not the sales problem, that is supply chain problem with direct financial consequences. Now, top right, as you can see, the delay profile. So, as I mentioned, 7,444 late deliveries. The average delay is only 1.69 days. The maximum delay is 3 days. Those are small numbers, which actually tells us something important, that it is last mile delivery logistic failure. The product is probably sitting in a van or distribution center, just not making it to the customer on the right time. Relatively cheap fix compared to building a new factories. Now, bottom left, the bottleneck analysis here is where domain expertise really matters. When you see dairy at 65.99%, beverages at 65.88%, and food is at 66.13%, and when you cross-reference with the volume fill rate, which is at 96.6%, you know the product exists in the warehouse. They're just not being allocated to the right orders. That point directly to scrutinize the sales and operation planning process. On the other hand, bottom right, the OT cap versus target. These are the contractual commitments that are being missed here. So with some customer numbers, with the customer numbers just reveal the awful performance. A few of them are mentioned over here, such as the Price Right, Vijay Stores, and Elite Mart. So these are the customer where the numbers are really awful. So they were promised specifically service level, and those promises are being broken by 50%. That is litigation territory in mature supply chain market. Now, data without action is just a noise. So here are 5 concrete recommendations I would present to CEO and his team. The priority one is emergency. So Price Right and Lidl need to be treated as crisis account. Every week they don't get served properly is a week they are talking to the competitors. Now the fastest fix is dedicated buffer stock. So ring fenced inventory for their most order SKUs, and target is rise their in full rate from 16% to 60% within 60 days. That alone would transform the relationship. So I'm going to reiterate again. So the target here we are going to set is rise their full rate from 16% to 60% within 60 days. That alone would transform the relationship. The second priority is fix the last mile. So we know from the delay that 1.69 is the least and the maximum is 3 days. So that average delay, their products are ready. So, but they are not arriving on the time. So engage to the logistic partner, review the route optimization, add dedicated US delivery coordinate if you just need it, but fix that last mile problem. The priority three would be fix the SNOP process, sales and operation. Um, must be their planning. Uh, so sales and operation planning is the heart of healthy supply chain. Right now, Patel Mart is not aligning its production and inventory plans with the actual customer demand patterns. This is the root cause that needs to be fixed and not sort of a band-aid on top of it. So they need to align the production plan and inventory plan with the actual customer demand patterns. The priority four would be something I can build myself, automated OTIF alert in n8n. So the customer targets are already in the database. So I can set up the workflow that checks every morning and sends an alert if any customer's OTIF drops more than 10 points below their target. That is proactive customer management. Priority five, extend the pipeline. Currently, only the daily transaction data is automated. We should also automate the master data, customers, and product updates so the system is always current. To summarize what we have covered today, Patel Mart had a supply chain problem. Customers not receiving orders on time and in full. We built an AI-powered system that automatically ingests daily data stored in structured cloud database and calculates 7 critical KPIs in real time. The headline finding is OTIF is 28.89%, which is below the industry standard, and benchmark, which is 70%. Revenue at risk, which is 39.3 million INR. Root cause here, root cause are two, that inventory allocation planning failure and last mile logistic gap. The tech stack we have used for this project is n8n, Supabase, Quadratic AI, Python. This represents what modern supply chain analytics look like. Not spreadsheet, not statistic dashboard, a live automated intelligence system. One important issue that I want to raise here is when ingesting data into PostgreSQL online database, such as Supabase, the data needs to be validated constantly, be it matching the data type, be it matching the columns. I'm very happy to go deeper on any aspect, be it technical architecture, the KPI methodology, or the specific customer analysis, or how I would extend this system for the company that is 500 or more times than the scale I worked. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next project.